Well, Coach Grubbs, congratulations on a Region 2 championship, your first as head coach. How's that feel?
It feels great. I wouldn't be here without everything that's happened over the past few years. Clint set up a great program. I was able to step into it and take over a team that he had well prepared going into the season, and I was able to carry it from there. The coaching staff that I have is fantastic. Coach Turner's done a great job with the defense this year. Coach Herrickson, Coach Marifine, Coach Beach have just been an excellent coaching staff, and I talk about the kids every week, but it's a great group of kids to be able to coach, and it's been my pleasure to do so.
This was the first time that we fell behind since we played in overtime that first week of the season. You went into the locker room at halftime behind. New experience for you and the boys. What'd you say to them at halftime?
Oh, we had confidence in the kids. It was a new experience going into halftime losing, but I had confidence in them, and that's one of the first things that we said as a coaching staff is we have full confidence that nothing's going to change. We just said we had to go out and play like we did for the first 8 games of the season. That wasn't the same team defensively that we'd seen the past 8 weeks, and we just need to make some adjustments. They were a little tight. Try to get them to loosen up a little bit, get them to laugh, get them to smile a little bit, and come out and would play the way they're capable of playing. I was pretty confident that we were going to score some more points. It was just a matter of getting their confidence up to get a couple stops on defense, and we'd be okay.
This team did show it could overcome adversity and keep focused. What were the keys to the win Friday night?
That first stop in the second half, coming out, putting some pressure on them. I think the first couple plays of the second half, we did a nice job stuffing a couple runs that they had been successful in the first half. Coach Turner made a great adjustment, going to the 5 front, getting the extra linemen in there to help protect our linebackers, help our defensive ends out a little bit. And beyond that, once we got that stop, got the ball back, pushed it down their throats again, I think the kids understood that if they play the way they're capable of playing, they were going to be okay. And so it was just a matter of biding our time until we got the opportunities to get the ball in the end zone and then make a couple defensive plays and take over the game.
Coach, what do you think the team learned on Friday night?
They learned I got to finish, first of all, that the game is more than a half. There's been so many games this year that the game has been over at halftime. They learn that they got to play 4 quarters sometimes. They learn that they're capable of playing 4 quarters sometimes, and they also learn that even when things are going bad, there's still plenty of time in most games to fix things and make adjustments and come back and play well. And that's what we did in the second half Friday night. So hopefully we can carry that into the next couple of weeks and into the playoffs. This
week you travel to Northwestern to take on the Wildcats in a non-conference game. What should we expect to see Friday night?
More of the same. We're not going to get wild and crazy. We're not going to change up our offense or defense or anything. They take a couple of the things that we've had issues with the past couple of weeks, and in that option attack that Union City ran and the counter attack that Iroquois ran, and they run both of them. A lot of the same formations that Iroquois runs. So we're going to have to definitely shore up our defense, make sure we make the corrections on those particular types of plays, and then go from there. We got the playoffs coming up in a couple weeks, and we want to make sure that we're healthy going into that. So, we're going to watch the game, see how it's going, and see where things lead us. But I don't want to limp into the playoffs with a loss. I don't want to limp into the playoffs with a rusty team. So we're definitely going to go out on the field and give our best.
That's a AA school. Great way to tune up for the playoffs.
Absolutely. They're a quality team, too. You look at, the record isn't the greatest, but you look at their scores. I think they only lost by a touchdown to the top 2 region teams in the North. So, they're definitely a quality team, and they're going to give us everything we can handle. Especially, I'm sure they got a little chip on their shoulder after last year as well when they came down here, and we kind of put it to them in that last game last year before the playoffs. So I'm pretty sure that they're going to be coming with their best Friday.
With your win Friday night, you wrapped up the Region 2 crown and will have a number 1 seed going into the playoffs a week from Friday. How are you keeping the team focused on this week's game?
It's not too bad. Like we said, we know Northwestern's a good team. They're a quality team. I talked to them, the kids yesterday at practice, and said that, they realize that nothing's going to change based upon what happens this week. But, I talked to them and said that, the last thing we want to do is limp in, take a loss or anything like that before we go into the playoffs. We want to make sure to stay healthy as we go this week. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to go back to basics in practice, go back to our fundamentals, and start shoring up those things we need to fix before next week's playoff game.
The fan support Friday night was incredible, and the growth of your following on social media continues. At one point over the weekend, we had over 35,000 hits in the previous week on our fan page on Facebook. Do you and the team sense the growing excitement around this team?
Oh, I don't think you can help but sense the growing excitement around the team. Everything Friday night was great. It was great to have the crowd support there. I'd say we had every bit as many fans as what Iroquois did. It was pretty neat to go there, and 3 radio stations were tuned up, ready to go, and there was a radio station sitting out in the parking lot to watch the game, and it was a fun game to watch, and hopefully we continue that way from week to week as these games get bigger and bigger. This week against Northwestern, heading into the playoffs next week. It's great to have the fan support, and hopefully it can continue.
Last night, the JV team took care of business and finished the year undefeated, and it has been over 3 years since they lost the game. There's a bright future for the Blue Devils football, and we have a lot of depth behind the starters right now. How does that impact the way you coach?
It's great because we look at it. You look at teams like our kickoff team, which has been one of the most consistent and strong teams. Special teams that we've had all year. That's made up of pretty much all JV kids. When we go to JV games, that's what they see. They see the same kids doing that kickoff team. They do a fantastic job of it. And so, we get into situations in games where somebody gets a break or needs a break, and we got guys that we feel comfortable putting in there. You got guys that have worked this year and kind of moved up the ranks and that played a lot of JV early and now are getting a lot of time on varsity. Look at kids like Dustin Kingsley and Brody Schwab that were JV players at the beginning of the year, and now they're varsity starters on each side of the ball. So, it's good to see these young kids that are stepping up and working hard in JV games and earning time in the varsity games. And it's nice to know that as we move forward that we are in good hands in the future. Like you said, we haven't lost a JV game in, I think it was September 26th or something, 2012, and it was actually Iroquois that beat us, as I remember. So, it does bode well for the future to know that that's what's happened over the past few years, and that these are the kids that are going to be coming in next year to take the place of this great senior class that we have.
Tonight you'll be on WXCS 92.9, and you're there every Tuesday night on Coach's Corner. They've been broadcasting all our games, and we have a following there as well. As the coach, it must feel great to know the community's behind you.
It is great to know. It's been fun doing these interviews each week with you, and then going down there for Coach's Corner each week. The team and I both appreciate all the support that we get from you guys and the radio station, and it's been fun doing this stuff this year.
Well, Coach, any last words for our Blue Devil fans?
Thank you again for the great support last week at Iroquois, and hope to see you out again this Friday night at Northwestern.